Well, holy freaking guacamole, guys. I think the deload kind of worked. Because this is the first time in a very long time that I've actually felt like really enthusiastic about training. So now my only job is to take my sweater off and put on real shoes because it is speed bench day and we are getting down to some serious business. And I guess the real job is making sure that I don't turn this enthusiasm into immediately reversing all of the recovery I got back from deloading. And like, I definitely do like my bench press slippers, but they're not super conducive to producing good leg drive. So a really stupid trick that I've kind of picked up is not wearing my real shoes till the end of meet prep. And then when I put them on, everything magically feels way more connected and it's just awesome. And you might be thinking, Seth, wouldn't it be better just to have good leg drive for every single time you train? But the problem with that is I wouldn't get to wear my bench day slippers, so I'm not willing to make that sacrifice. And plan for the speed bench today is 6.5s at 185, committing to that narrower-ish grip that we figured out doesn't feel totally terrible last week. And that felt freaking right. Double and, for those of you who are new here, the whole intent with speed work isn't just to move lightweight fast, it is to move lightweight as well as I freaking can, make sure my eccentric is perfect, my touch is crisp, I'm blasting through the whole range, not just throwing it, but trying to contract, so that way I can get the technical practice that will then carry back over to my main bench, hopefully not sucking this week. Triple and, we are going to move on to our secondary and assume that someone just left this bar loaded, so we should be free to set up for some seated overhead, which is really going to be more of a high incline than a true overhead because I find that angle touches what I want on my bench a little bit better. With us being 5 weeks out, my intent here, my goal here isn't really to like work hard, but more to just work hard enough to make sure that my delts, my overhead is in good enough shape to support my bench going into the meet. And I'm figuring this will be decent enough work set range for today. Gonna keep the reps to where it still feels poppy. Yeah, that was fun. For sure, gonna run one more here, maybe two, because we're not pushing the RPE super duper hard. Also, we're giving away a free bottle of Zone Original to every new member of Team Activated through the month of November. So, sign up. Woo!
Yes, you heard that right. If you hit that link below and sign up for Team Activated, we are going to send you a bottle of Zone to help you bring the hype and get more out of the best powerlifting coaching.
Woo! Yeah, we're gonna do another with the goal of making it look stupid. And even if you don't want to sign up for the team, go support Zone because stuff is potent. No! Yeah, very okay with that. And I think that should be a good place to start at that I'll be able to build off of over the fucking trying to drag the bench and talk to the camera is a little bit difficult, but a good place to be able to build off of through the course of this wave. And I'm thinking if I can end up at some crispy reps, 275, 295, we'll be very good to go. I have no idea where I'm going with this thing. I want to start with Hundos, but I want to walk in front of him while he's working. And now we're gonna run some pectoral touching with dumbbells. Gonna try to keep it fairly crispy as well here. And go up from the Hundos. Yup. Oh. And Darrell had the 120s out, so we'll try to follow him. I don't know if that's safe or not, but watch your toes. Okay, round 2. Man, my first out, like, I swear, like, my nipple got pinched between the loose plates. It was like, fuck.
Yeah, because they
Yeah. And now that the pecs are popping, might as well move on to some triceptical touching. And we're gonna run some decline roll-ins with a not super assholey intent. Because again, at this point in the meet prep, the biggest thing I need to do on this day is make sure that I'm fresh enough to do what I need to do on my Thursday real bench day. And I figure we're gonna finish the old tricep, shoulder, titty, feel good touching with some full range push-ups. Trying to get a little bit of deliberate flair going on these suckers because that's what's feeling kind of stiff and clonky, so we're touching it. And if you've got any sort of like pec, shoulder, elbow, whatever shit going on, getting better at push-ups and progressing to the point where you can do them with your hands elevated, increasing range of motion, digging into a stretch is one of the easiest things you can do to make all that shit get in better shape. Which brings us to our supplemental stuff touching, so gonna be intentful here because Joel is watching. You know how like kids are worried about Santa Claus watching them, Christians are worried about Jesus seeing what they're doing in the closet. I got a jacked anesthesiologist that is gonna make fun of all of my vlogs. And straight on pull downs were not on the plan, but they look fun, so I had to join in. And if I'm running a straight on pull down with the intent of getting more lats into my bench, what I'm going to do is make sure that my shoulder blades are set in a position realistic to where I want to be benching. And then I'm just going to flex my lats and pull the sucker down. If I want to get really spicy, I can let the straps go, suck them back. But I'm just going to keep it all packed in and just find that lat pull. Going to be a little bit more bent over today, trying to touch a different angle. Feels nice. And for the rear delt touch-in, I think we're going to bring back the ever so classic A-raise, T-raise superset. I always feel so awkward like starting that take and then waiting to do the T-raises to finish and knowing that like the cut's there. I don't feel that awkward, but I feel like everyone within listening distance of the camera thinks I'm an idiot. And you might be wondering, Seth, why are you still doing so much fluffy work if you're 5 weeks out from powerlifting meet? And the biggest reason is that I want to win the Jackest Dude on the Platform Award. Not really, because Joel's doing the meet, Dawson's doing the meet, Dan Grigsby's doing the meet, a whole bunch of other Jack Dudes are doing the meet, so I don't have a shot at that. So the real answer is that this is the work that has been supporting my main lifts and keeping my main lifts feeling good, so it would be unwise to pull it out too early. And if I keep it in right up until the end of the peak, it's gonna keep my shit feeling good, and then when I pull it out, I'm gonna get so much freaking recovery back. So yeah, floppy stuff staying in right until the end. Except for arms in the vlog because I'm doing those tomorrow morning at the commercial gym. And I'm figuring for the easy torso work that I'm running on my pressing days, I might explore a kettlebell windmill for some range of motion accessing type stuff. Don't judge me too much, please. It has been far too long since I've done these, and it's making me feel like it was both a terrible and a wonderful idea simultaneously. Oh, God. Oh, that's stiffer this way. I need to hire someone to CGI me doing those not terribly into the video. Did not film set number 2 there out of shame with how terrible set number 1 went. But I swear second set went a lot better than the first. Definitely not good, but you know, maybe a little bit in the right direction. And I think that's kind of like the theme for today, because today wasn't anything spectacular, but it was in the right direction. Like I had my pop back on bench. Like I felt like I could snap into my overhead presses. Like I had energy to actually go for it. Well, not go for it because I didn't really go for it because I took it pretty easy, but you know what I mean on my accessories. My accessories were fun and felt good, and I did my job. And I think the biggest thing that I need to do right now is just make sure that I don't get too excited, keep it in the pocket this week to let this week set up next week, to let the next week set up the last heavy week that I'm going to push, and then I can take another down week and get freshened up for the prep. But I think the biggest thing that this deload did for me is I feel like myself again. Like I feel excited. I feel like I have energy, and I need to, again, just make sure that I don't let that energy turn into overshooting and then screwing up the recovery that I did gain back. But I'd like to think that hopefully I am mature enough at this point in my lifting career to not do that, because I know that the most important thing right now is setting myself up to do good on the platform, and pushing hard just because I feel good isn't gonna be the best thing to do at this point to set myself up for the platform. We gotta leave a little bit in the tank for now so that we can do better in the future. And I think on that note, like, this last week was mentally challenging. Last few weeks have been mentally challenging, but I think that something happened yesterday, the weekend, where the switch flipped in my brain, where I stopped doubting whether or not I can pull this off, and I just know what I need to do to pull this meet prep off, so we are gonna pull it off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Have a good night.